A sandal drops in the dust. Torches. Shadows closing in on a woman dragged from her chariot in the streets of Alexandria. Her name is Hypatia, mathematician, astronomer, one of the last great minds of a dying age. By nightfall, she's gone. But her death isn't where this story begins. It's closer to where it ends. 2 centuries before her, something had already started dying in this city. The greatest library the ancient world ever built. And to this day, no one agrees on who killed it. Picture it around 300 BCE. Egypt's Greek rulers, the Ptolemies, build something the world has never seen. Not a temple, a collecting machine. Ships docking in the harbor get searched, not for weapons, but for books. Every scroll found gets copied. Sometimes the copy goes home with the owner, and Alexandria keeps the original. Ancient writers claim the shelves eventually hold anywhere from 40,000 scrolls to 700,000. Modern historians think that higher number is a legend wearing the mask of a fact. Even the modest estimate makes this the largest library on earth. For 5 centuries, if you wanted to think, you came here. Suspect number 1, Julius Caesar. Imagine the harbor at night in 48 BCE. Caesar trapped in the city, outnumbered, chasing his rival Pompey. He orders the enemy fleet set on fire. The flames do their job. Then they do more than their job. They jump the docks. They reach the warehouses. They reach the city. The writer Seneca later claims 40,000 books burned that night. Caesar, writing his own history of the war, never mentions it, a convenient silence from a man who rarely confessed his mistakes. But here's the twist nobody puts in the headline. The library doesn't die that night. Decades later, the geographer Strabo is still walking its halls. Mark Antony reportedly gives Cleopatra 200,000 scrolls to help refill the shelves. Caesar wounds the library. He doesn't finish it. Suspect 2 arrives 2 centuries later in armor again. In 273 CE, Emperor Aurelian storms the city to crush a rebellion, and the fighting tears through the palace quarter where the library stands. Suspect 3 shows up more than a century after that, and this time the weapon isn't a legion, it's a crowd. In 391 CE, Bishop Theophilus, acting under an imperial order to crush paganism, leads the destruction of the Serapeum, the temple that houses the library's daughter collection. Statues come down, scrolls go with them, and the same current that tears through Alexandria that year is still moving 24 years later, when it finds Hypatia in that street with those torches. Suspect 4 is the most famous name in this whole mystery and the least real. Legend says that in 641 CE, after the Muslim conquest of Alexandria, Caliph Omar orders the library's last scrolls burned as fuel for the city's bathhouses, supposedly keeping them lit for 6 months. It's a vivid story. You can practically feel the heat of it. It's also almost certainly invented. The tale doesn't surface anywhere until roughly 3 centuries after it supposedly happened. No one who actually lived through the conquest wrote it down. In the 1950s, the historian Bernard Lewis called the legend out by name. Even Edward Gibbon, who told the story at length in his own history, admitted he wasn't sure he believed it. 4 suspects, 4 fires, still no confession that holds up. So maybe we've been asking the wrong question. Maybe there was no single killer at all. Papyrus doesn't last on its own. It curls, it cracks, it turns to dust within decades unless someone recopies it by hand, over and over, forever. That takes money. It takes will. As Alexandria's rulers changed and its prestige drained away, the copying may simply have stopped, one uncatalogued scroll at a time. No mob, no emperor, no caliph, just neglect. The classicist Roger Bagnall put it simply: the library's disappearance wasn't one dark night. It was a slow fade that nobody bothered to stop. In 2002, Egypt and UNESCO opened a new library on Alexandria's coast, close to where the old one is believed to have stood. They call it the Bibliotheca Alexandrina, a circular hall of granite and glass, its outer wall carved with letters from nearly every alphabet human beings have ever used. It holds no fragment of the original collection. It doesn't need one. It exists as an answer to a question 2,000 years old. What do you do Once you know that knowledge can simply vanish, you build again, you copy again, you keep the lights on. The old library didn't fall to one villain on one night in one fire. It fell the way most things fall, slowly, quietly, every single time someone decided it wasn't worth saving. That's the part of this story actually worth remembering.